Hello everyone, I'm CA Neeraj B. Welcome to this hands-on accounting session on my YouTube channel at the rate Accounting Buddy, where we focus only on practical illustrations, no theory, no shortcuts. Just real business transactions are made easy. First, we will start with the double column cash book, where you will learn to record and balance multiple sets of cash and bank transactions, including how to handle bank overdraft. Second, we move to the petty cash book under the Imprest system, demonstrating how to record and balance small day-to-day expenses. Third, we will take it further with Analytical Petty Cash Book, showing you how to identify correct expense heads and ensure accuracy while maintaining the petty cash book. Finally, we will conclude with journal entries related to Analytical Petty Cash Book with real examples so you can understand how these entries flow into the books of accounts. Whether you are a student, a beginner, or someone revisiting accounting after years, this lesson is made to make you confident in the real world of accounting. Let's get started. Prepare two-column cash book from the following transactions for the trading business of Mr. Kohli. The format of the double column cash book is displayed on your screens. The left hand debit side or the receipt side records all the receipts, while the right hand credit side or the payment side records all the payments. Transaction T1 is on 1st of January 25, business had a cash in hand of $15,000 and cash at bank of $40,000. Opening cash balance of $15,000 and opening cash bank balance of $40,000 is shown in the cash column and bank column respectively on the left hand debit side of the cash book on 1st of January 25 by writing the words to balance brought down. Transaction T2 is on 2nd of January 25, business purchased goods worth $2,000 in cash. Since in this transaction cash payment is made, it will be recorded in the cash column on the right hand credit side of the cash book with $2,000 on 2nd of January 25 by writing the words by purchase account. Transaction T3 is on 4th of January 25, business did a cash sales of $7,000. Since in this transaction cash is received by the business, therefore it will be recorded in the cash column on the left hand debit side of the cash book with $7,000 on 4th of January 25 by writing the words to sales account. Transaction T4 is on 5th of January 25, business purchased stationery worth $500 by cash. Since the payment is made by cash, this transaction will be recorded in the cash column on the right hand credit side of the cash book with $500 on 5th of January 25 by writing the words buy stationery account. Transaction T5 is on 6th of January 25, business deposited cash amounting to $6,000 in the bank. This entry will be recorded on both the sides of the cash book. Since the cash is paid, $6,000 will be recorded in the cash column on the right hand credit side of the cash book on 6th of January 25 by writing the words buy bank account. Similarly, an amount of $6,000 will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book on the same day, that is 6th of January 25, by writing the words to cash account. Since it is a contra entry, it will be represented by writing the letter C in the journal folio column on both the sides of the cash book. Transaction T6 is on 8th of January 25, business purchased goods worth $20,000 from Tully LLC. Since goods are purchased on credit, this transaction will not be recorded in the cash book. Transaction T7 is on 10th of January 25, business made a payment of $15,000 to Tully LLC by check and received a discount of $500. Since it is a payment transaction, it will be recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book for $15,000 on 10th of March 25 by writing the words by Tully LLC account. Discount received amounting to $500 will be recorded by passing the journal entry. Transaction T8 is On 12th of January 25, Global Trading, a customer deposited cash of $5,000 in the bank account of the business. Since business has received the money, it will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book for $5,000 on 12th of January 25 by writing the words to Global Trading account. Transaction T9 is on 14th January 25, a customer transferred online payment in the bank account of the business for $15,000. Since business has received the money, it will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book for $15,000 on 14th of January 25 by writing the words to sales account. Transaction T10 is on 15th of January 25, business issued a check dated 3rd of March 25 to Molly LLC for $5,000. In this transaction, since the payment is made by the business by issuing a post-dated check, still it will be recorded in the bank column on the right-hand credit side of the cash book for $5,000 on 15th of January 25 by writing the words by Molly account. In continuation to the preparation of double column cash book as per previous slide, the next transaction T11 is on 16th of January 25, business withdraw $1,000 cash from bank for office use. Since this entry is affecting both the cash and the bank balance, it will be recorded on both the sides of the cash book. Cash is received therefore on 16th of January 25 by writing the words to bank account. $1,000 will be recorded in the cash column on the left hand debit side of the cash book. On the same date, that is 16th of January 25, by writing the words by cash account, $1,000 will be recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book. Since it is a contra entry, it will be represented by writing the letter C in the journal folio column on both the sides of the cash book. Transaction T12 is on 18th of January 25, business received a check from Polly LLC for $5,000 after allowing a discount of $300. Since business has received the amount, it will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book for $5,000 on 18th of January 25 by writing the words to Polly account. The discount allowed amounting to $300, a separate journal entry will be passed. Transaction T13 is business on 20th of January 25 received post-dated check from Regal LLC dated 27th of January for $25,000. This transaction will not be recorded in the cash book. Transaction T14 is on 20th of January 25, an amount of $2,000 is withdrawn from bank for personal use. Since it is an outflow of bank balance, it will be recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book for $2,000 on 20th of January 25 by writing the words by bank account. Transaction T15 is goods for $25,000 are sold to Mr. Goli. This is a credit sales transaction, therefore it will not be recorded in the cash book. Transaction T16 is on 27th of January 25, check received from Regal LLC for $25,000 on 20th of January 25 is now deposited in the bank. Since it is a receipt transaction, it will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side for $25,000 on 27th of January 25 by writing the words to check in hand account. Please note that on 27th of January 25, Regal LLC will not be credited as Regal LLC account was credited on 20th of January when the post dated check was actually received. Transaction T17 is a check of $20,000 received from Mr. Goli is deposited in the bank. Since it is a receipt transaction, it will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book for $20,000 on 29th of January 25 by writing the words to Mr. Goli account. Transaction T18 is on 29th of January 25, business purchased furniture for business for $2,200 and paid cash for it. Since it is a payment transaction, it will be recorded in the cash column on the right hand credit side of the cash book for $2,200 on 29th of January 25 by writing the words buy furniture account. Transaction number 19 is on 30th of January 25, bank charged $100 for issuing a checkbook. Since this transaction will reduce the bank balance, it will be recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book for $100 on 30th of January 25 by writing the words buy bank charges account. Transaction T20 is on 31st of January, business paid salary of $5,000 in cash and $20,000 by bank transfer. Since this is a payment transaction, it will be recorded on the right hand credit side of the cash book. $5,000 will be recorded in the cash column and $20,000 will be recorded in the bank column of the cash book on 31st of January 25 by writing the words buy salary account. Transaction T21 is on 31st January 25, business sold goods in cash for $7,500. Since it is a receipt transaction, it will be recorded in the cash column on the left hand debit side of the cash book for $7,500 on 31st January 25 by writing the words to sales account. Let us now do balancing of the cash book. First, let us do the totaling of the left hand debit side columns of cash and bank. The total of the cash column is $30,500 and the total of the bank column is $116,000. Now if we deduct all the cash column transactions on the right hand credit side of the cash book from the total of cash column on the left hand debit side, we are left with a balance of $17,000 in the cash column. Similarly, if we deduct all the bank column transactions on the right hand credit side of the cash book from the total of the bank column on the left hand side, we are left with a balance of $70,700 in the bank column. These balances of cash in hand of $17,000 and cash at bank of $70,700 will appear on the right hand credit side of the cash book as on 31st January 25 by writing the words buy balance carried down. This will make the total of right hand credit side total of the cash column to $30,500 and cash column to $116,000. Thus the cash book is balanced. Now the closing balance of cash for $30,500 and the bank balance of $116,000 as on 31st January 25 will become opening balance as on 1st of February 25 by writing the words to balance brought down. Let us prepare two-column cash book from the following transactions for the trading business of Mr. Kohli. The format of the double column cash book is displayed on your screen. Transaction T1 is as on 1st February 25, business is having a cash in hand balance of $80,000. Cash in hand balance is always a debit balance. Therefore, the opening balance of cash in hand of $80,000 will appear in the cash column on the left hand debit side of the cash book on 1st of February 25 by writing the words to balance brought down. Transaction T2 is as on 1st January 25, business is having an overdraft balance of $100,000. Bank overdraft is a liability of a business. Therefore, it will be shown in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book for $100,000 on 1st of February 25 by writing the words buy balance brought down. Transaction T3 is on 5th of February 25, business deposited $50,000 cash in bank. This transaction will affect both sides of the cash book. Since there is an increase in the bank balance, an amount of $50,000 will be recorded on the left hand debit side of the cash book on 5th February 25 by writing the words to cash account. Similarly, since there is an outflow of cash, $50,000 will be recorded in the cash column on the right hand credit side of the cash book on 5th of February 25 by writing the words by bank account. As this is a contra entry, it will be represented by writing the letter C in the journal folio column on both the sides of the cash book. Transaction T4 is on 7th February 25, business purchased goods worth $25,000 and settled the transaction by check. Since this is a payment transaction, it will be recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book for $25,000 on 7th of February 25 by writing the words by purchases account. Transaction T5 is on 9th February 25 business paid $2,000 freight by check. Since it is a payment transaction, it will be recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book for $2,000 on 9th of February 25 by writing the words by freight account. Transaction T6 is on 12th February 25 business purchased goods for $10,000 and paid cash. Since it is a payment transaction, it will be recorded in the cash column on the right hand credit side of the cash book for $10,000 on 12th of February 25 by writing the word by purchases account. Transaction T7 is on 15th February 25 business did a cash sales of $50,000. Since it is a receipt transaction, it will be recorded in the cash column on the left hand debit side of the cash book for $50,000 on 15th February 25 by writing the words to sales account. Transaction T8 is on 20th February 25 business sold $80,000 value of goods to Ramo LLC. Since the goods are sold to Ramo LLC on credit, this transaction will not be recorded in the cash book. Transaction T9 is on 25th February 25 business received a check of $60,000 from Ramo LLC. Since it is a receipt transaction, it will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book for $60,000 on 25th February 25 by writing the words to Ramo LLC account. Transaction T10 is on 28th February 25 business paid salary for $25,000 through bank. Since it is a payment transaction, it will be recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book for $25,000 on 28th February 25 by writing the words by salary account. Let us now do the balancing of the cash book. First, we will do the totaling of the cash column on the left hand debit side and it comes to $130,000. Now, if we deduct all the cash column transactions on the right hand credit side of the cash book from the total of the cash column on the left hand debit side, we are left with a balance of $70,000, which will be the closing cash in hand balance as on the last day of February 25, that is 28th February 25, and will be written as by balance carried down. Thus makes the total of cash column on the right hand credit side also equal to $130,000. Now let us do the total of the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book, which in our illustration comes to $152,000. Now if we deduct all the bank column transactions on the left hand debit side from the total of the bank column on the right hand credit side, we are left with a balance of $42,000, which will be the closing balance of the bank overdraft as on the last day of February, that is 28th February 25, and will be written as to balance carried down on the left hand debit side of the cash book. Therefore, the total of the bank column on the left hand debit side will also become $152,000. Thus the cash book is said to be balanced. The closing cash in hand balance of $70,000 as on the last day of February 25, that is 28th February 25, will become the opening balance of $70,000 as on 1st of March 25 by writing the words to balance brought down on the left hand debit side of the cash book. Similarly, the closing overdraft bank balance of $42,000 as on last day of February 25, that is on 28th February 25, will become the opening balance on of $42,000 as on 1st of March 25 by writing the words "buy balance brought down" on the right hand credit side of the cash book. Let us understand in detail how the transactions are recorded in a petty cash book. Petty cash book for the month of, say, February 25 of a business is displayed on your screen. On 1st of February 25, business withdrew an amount of $4,000 for petty cash. This transaction of $4,000 will be recorded in the amount received column on 1st of February 25 by writing the words "to bank account" in the particulars column. On 3rd of February 25, business paid $200 for stationery. This transaction will be recorded on 3rd of February 25 by writing the words "buy stationery account" in the particulars column for $200. On 7th February 25, petty cashier paid $100 as conveyance to one of the staff. This transaction will be recorded on 7th of February 25 by writing the words "buy conveyance account" in the particulars column for $100. On 10th of February 25, petty cashier paid $500 to replace two electrical bulbs. This transaction will be recorded on 10th of February 25 by writing the words "buy office repairs account" for $50. On 14th February 25, petty cashier paid $150 as cartage. This transaction will be recorded on 14th February 25 by writing the words "buy cartage account" in the particulars column for $150. On 20th February 25, petty cashier paid a bill of $100 for telephone expenses. This transaction will be recorded on 20th of February 25 by writing the words "buy telephone account" in the particulars column for $100. On 25th February 25, petty cashier paid $200 to buy staff pantry items. This transaction will be recorded on 25th of February 25 by writing the words "buy pantry expense accounts" in the particulars column for $200. On 28th February 25, petty cashier paid $75 as taxi charges for one of the staffs. This transaction will be recorded on 28th of February 25 by writing the words "buy conveyance account" under the particulars column for $75. Now when from the total amount received column of $4,000 we deduct the sum of all the petty cash payments, petty cashier is left with a petty cash in hand balance of $3,125, which will be recorded on the last day of February 25, that is 28th of February, by writing the words "buy balance carried down." By doing this process, the petty cash book is balanced. Now the closing petty cash in hand balance of $3,125 as on 28th February 25 will become the opening petty cash in hand and will be shown in the amount received column on 1st of March 25 by writing the words "to balance brought down." Now $875 will be withdrawn from the bank on 1st of March 25 to again make the petty cash balance available with the petty cashier to $4,000 by writing the words "to bank account." Let us prepare an analytical petty cash book on the basis of Imprest system. All the petty cash expense transactions of a business, say for the month of March 25, are displayed on your screen. On 1st March 25, petty cashier received $2,000 to meet the petty cash expenses of the business. First of all, for every petty cash paid, we should identify the appropriate account head. In our example, petty cashier paid conveyance expense to the business staff 5 times in March 25. Please note that taxi fare, metro fare, bus fare all are of the nature of conveyance. Therefore, all these expenses will be accounted under the expense head of conveyance account. Similarly, petty cashier has paid pantry expenses, telephone expenses and postage expenses 2 times in the month of March 25. And an expense of unloading charges which is not a recurring in nature is classified as sundry expenses. Let us see how these petty cash expenses will be recorded in the analytical cash book in the next slide. When all petty cash expense payments as per previous slide are recorded in an analytical petty cash book, it will look like as appearing on your screens. An amount of $2,000 taken for petty cash expenses will be recorded in the receipt column by writing the words to cash account on 1st of March 25. The two columns of voucher number and particulars are common for both receipt and payment transactions. So the petty cash amount paid as conveyance on various dates will be recorded by writing the word to conveyance account in the particulars column. The amount of conveyance paid will be recorded first in the amount column and again under the column created for conveyance expenses. Every conveyance transaction will be recorded on the date in which the cash is actually paid. Similarly, pantry expenses paid out of petty cash will first be recorded in the amount column and again under the column created for pantry expenses. Telephone expenses paid out of petty cash will first be recorded in the amount column and then again under the column created for telephone expenses. Similarly, postage paid out of petty cash will first be recorded in the amount column and then again under the column created for postage expenses. Now, petty cash expenses like casual labor not paid frequently will first be recorded in the amount column and then again under sundries column. Now, if we deduct from the total receipts of $2,000 all the petty cash payments of $725, we are left with a petty cash balance of $1,275, which will be written under the amount column by writing the words by balance carried down on 31st March 25. Please note that the total payments under each expense head will be equal to the total of all the payments recorded under the amount column. By following this process, the total of the receipt column and the total of the payment column will be equal and petty cash book is said to be balanced. The closing petty cash in hand of $1,275 on 31st March 25 will become the opening balance and will appear in the receipt column by writing the words to balance brought down. The petty cash will be reimbursed with $725 by writing the words to cash account to make the impressed balance again to $2,000. When $2,000 is given to petty cashier, it will appear in the petty cash book under the receipt column with the date on which it is received and by writing the words to cash account in the particulars column. Now the entry for $2,000 given to petty cashier will be passed as appearing on your screens. The two accounts affected by this transaction are petty cash account and cash account. Petty cash account will be debited and the cash account will be credited. Now when the petty cash account is submitted, the summary total of each expense head will be considered for passing the entry. The entry will be passed as appearing on your screen. All the expense heads will be debited with the total amounts paid under each head during the specific period, and the petty cash account will be credited with the sum total of petty cash expenses paid under all the expense heads. And when the petty cash is reimbursed, below entry is passed: debit petty cash account and credit cash account. In my upcoming video on 12th July 2025, we will cover the complete journey of cash book accounting from single column cash book to double column cash book and petty cash book. You will learn formats, rules of posting, contra entries, and balancing techniques, including how to handle bank overdraft and maintain analytical petty cash book. If you enjoy the content of my channel and appreciate my teaching style, please subscribe, share, and like my YouTube channel @AccountingBuddyNB. Thank you and goodbye for now.